4, 3, 2, 1, sync. Hello and welcome to the TTV BrickFeed Podcast. My name is Jonathan Juan.
My name is Vardaran Var.
My name is Meso.
My name is Exxtrooper.
You guys are doing it wrong. You need more syllables in your name.
What happened to the my name is, guys? This is the BrickFeed Podcast, episode 72, recorded the week of September 28th, 2017.
No, so you should have said you were Blaziken Knack.
That would have been great.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's an awesome name, by the way. Blaziken Knack. They call me Blaziken Knack.
I mean, if you like Blaziken a lot, I mean, it's a decent starter.
Yeah, well, if you ignore the fact that Blaziken's a Pokemon, then...
Oh, yeah, that's a cool name, you know?
Right, exactly.
There's nothing
My
else
initial
with
YouTube
that name.
name is Blaziken1110.
Blaziken Knack.
That was your OG name. Actually,
back.
you used to do, like, news videos on your own channel.
I used to do a news video for Pokemon. I had, like, one...
You used to be a likable person.
You did Hero Factory.
Pokemon was why I actually got, like, into the internet. It's a lesser-known fact. I was looking up secrets for Diamond and Pearl, and I needed access to the internet to reliably get action replay cheat codes.
What
It wasn't
did you even
Manor?
just say? That sounded so lame.
I thought...
so many ways.
I moved on. I moved past it.
Okay,
How's everybody's
cool.
week been?
Dude, I gotta tell you, it's been bad.
We've been bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's been
Let's hear
awful.
about this.
Because
Why go on?
No, there's no reason. It's just been bad.
Okay. I was gonna say, were you disappointed? Were you
Isn't it
disappointed
just
by
neutral,
certain...
then? Like, it's been a neutral...
Were you disappointed by
No,
certain
it's
movie
bad
reviews?
because I say it's bad. That's all.
Okay, that's fair.
I wanted to sound like I had something worthwhile to say, and I really didn't.
Yesterday, I wanted to Ninjago to Walmart and look for Ninjago movie Brickheads.
Now it's
and, they did not have Brickheads, as it stood.
That is unfortunate, man.
They had no brickheads at all?
Not at Walmart. They were initially LEGO store
It's a Toys R Us
exclusive.
exclusive, I
Nope.
thought.
Well, all Brickheads were, but they came to my Walmart eventually.
Yeah,
I
they
was
were at
just
Walmart the
hoping
last time we were at
that,
Brickfair.
Yeah, I was just hoping that they would have some for Ninjago movie.
No.
It's too soon.
I know. What I'm saying is that I think the Toys are like the Ninjago movie ones are Toys R Us exclusive.
I think it's limited exclusivity. Because the initial Brickheads were LEGO store exclusives, and they did not stay that way. So.
Yeah, but like it's
yeah,
different.
but that's a little
though.
different. Yeah, with
That's
LEGO store
like if you look at
exclusives.
like Toys R Us does have exclusives every year, and they never get out to Walmart. Like Garmadon, like that set. That is going to be a TRU exclusive, I believe.
There's a
and it's
set
going to be there
called
for the rest of the.
Garmadon said 3 times?
Yep.
Yes.
What is in the set?
It's his mech.
It's
his
the shark mech.
The giant. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
It's the
This
scene in
week
the
has
trailer,
actually
you know,
been-
where everybody's like, Garmadon!
Yeah, and he walks out of the ocean in the giant shark. Yeah, that's the set.
Oh, isn't like the
What's
set...
my name?
It's not his giant mech, but the shark one.
Oh, that's
So
so
he's got-
for. Do we have
like
like
that
stuff
new
there.
sets to talk
Yeah, we've
about?
got.
We got
Talked about them last
we
week.
can
Do you
talk
want to
about
give
them,
your
right?
opinions?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we can talk about them. I have received a giant invoice by Lego. I came back from New
Brag
York.
about it.
Oh, by the way, we did New York. That was awesome.
That I didn't know that's what we were talking about. I thought we meant like the new sets that
That's what everybody but John meant.
Mayor. Yeah, John just wanted an excuse to brag about something. I was talking about something completely
No, we already talked
different.
about those. We talked about those last week, man.
That's what I said, but X wasn't on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's what we were talking
Okay,
about. We were just like,
I thought you were talking about the. Okay, sure.
no, literally
fine.
no
We can
one
talk about
cares
those.
that we got those sets. I
Thinking
think that's just going to make
I care,
everybody
man.
angry.
I care. I have so much Lego in my apartment right now. It is
Good
insane.
for you, man. You know,
Yeah,
you
that's
you did it.
Let's
Yeah.
like maybe save the bragging until videos actually come out. Then we can be like, all right, guys, we did something with them.
I really want to know if I should buy
That's
the
true.
Helic oil guns.
No, it's not. No, I
Yeah,
don't
that
think
was
so.
okay.
I think you should wait for like maybe they do
I'll wait
another
for a
wave.
review to decide.
Dude,
All right.
All right.
I'm kind of sad I missed out on the episode where you guys talked about the new Ninjago sets, though. Like I thought
I
that
was
was
basically
You
like
can
they
talk-
all
I mean, you
suck
can
except
talk about
for
it if you
Cole's
want.
mech was basically
Yeah.
the gist of what I said.
But you like them all,
I mean,
Bud Coles Mac?
I hate them all but Coles.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's the complete opposite of how I feel. What?
Wait,
Yeah,
really?
Coles Mac
What?
is a gemstone.
Coles Mac is really cool. I like Coles Mac a lot.
Coles Mac
Wait,
is
so-
amazing.
But I think there was like a set where you had like a young version of the girl with the orange hair. Wasn't that
Coco?
Those
Yes.
looked cool.
Yes.
Her
But
mini
that-
figure
that
is a
does look
gem,
cool.
a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I never thought they
Um,
would actually do a figure of that, but they did.
Right,
it's
and
amazing.
it's in a very cheap set too. Piranha Chase
I
is
saw
like
the
basically
sets.
not worth. It's not worth getting outside of Misako. I'm gonna link it here for everyone so they can see
remember
it.
I saw the sets on my phone while I was somewhere doing something, but I don't recall. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that looks really weird. It looks like a.
It looks like a nice minifigure pack.
It looks like a robot minion that underwent something.
Do
Yeah,
we
that's
know how much this set is? Because that would determine how good it is for me.
It's 1999 euros.
A little on the pricey side, but
right.
I mean,
would. It's a little bit pricey,
I
but
like
I
it a
don't know how
lot.
much
To be
City
honest,
Chase.
if it was a little cheaper, then I think it'd be
I
really
think
cool.
you're
If it's
asking the wrong
$15, I will buy
question.
it.
The right question is how much is that hairpiece on Bricklink? You know, that's
Dude,
the real
I don't
question.
use Bricklink.
What?
And now Exxtrooper is lost for words. Error.
I legitimately
not
do not
compute.
know how to respond.
Not everyone's a mockist, bro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
X, how often do you mock?
All the time that I can, but I do it very slowly. I mean, I use like 3 months on like one mech.
It's funny because there's two kinds of Lego fans, right? There's the people that buy the sets for the sets themselves, and then there's the people that don't actually care about sets. They only care about mocking, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like of those two groups of people, neither one understands the other at all.
It's true.
And like here I am, I'm
yes.
sitting here like why spending time on Bricklink? I've tried doing it before. I'm just like, I don't know what parts I want to use. I don't really have. I don't. This looks neat. I guess I can get a lot of that. Maybe I don't. And I end up with a cart filled with a bunch of bricks, and I'm like, I don't really want any of this. I just
I'm a very casual mockist. I used to mock more than I do, and I'll be honest, what killed it for me was BIONICLE G2. But not for the reasons you might think, because I bought the sets, and I realized how awesome these sets were, and how cool it was to actually have them all on display, and I was like, I don't want to take them apart. And the lack of new parts kind of killed my drive to mock.
Yeah.
A little bit.
All right.
No,
also
I
because
agree with that.
I'm such a system guy at this point that it's like I really, really enjoy the system sets for what they are, and I enjoy building them. But when it comes to mocking with system, I find the whole process incredibly frustrating. Coming from a construction background, mocking with system is just so
is it because
difficult.
there's so much?
No, it's because it's so fragile. I don't know how to keep things together.
Go on, look through all the like newest Star Wars sets from like 2011 and so on, and look at the biggest set, and you will look that all of them have all these like Technic frames that make them incredibly fragile. That's like the same way I make my mocks as well. I do like the stress test where I like throw them at the fridge, and if they're kind of kept together, they lose like less than 10 parts. Then they like they go through that test basically.
I mean, my thing is, I just don't know how to. I don't even know how to like start connecting pieces together. Like I will, like I was making a Fair mock not too long ago, right? It was a mock based off Fair from Overwatch. And I think it turned out pretty good. But the thing is, like throughout the entire process of building it, it was just like I would think of a neat like part construction where I could put this piece here and this piece there, and I would do it. But like, say I want to rework the torso or something, or I thought of a better, cooler way to do the torso. I now have to take off the arms and the legs and the bottom part, and then like dig inside the middle of the torso. And by the time I get to the part that I want to replace, the whole thing just crumbles apart. I have no clue how to keep things together, or like, I don't know. Mocking with system is just it's hard.
It's a whole different
There's
thing.
a lot.
If I had been mocking with system as a kid until this point, it'd probably be a lot less stressful. But man, it is.
Well, I mocked with system as a kid, but like I always made spaceships. I don't know about you guys. That was like my thing. I'll just kind of keep building spaceships more and more. And as time's gone on, there's a lot of building techniques that like people pick up over time, and I've lost out on that because I kind of like was focused on construction for a good while.
That's true. I don't know any of the techniques or anything. I'm kind of doing it from the very bare bones knowledge.
I don't really know where to begin.
You know what you should do? You should do a little workshop the next time you come over to the US. You'll come over, we'll have a thing, we'll like...
It's so hard to like. I've had like a thing where I need to like teach myself how to teach people, because like teaching people how to raid and Destiny, etc. But like with Lego, it's something I've done literally my entire life. I just don't even know where to start. I will say that one thing in that
same.
The thing with like Bar is that like how to use BrickLink and how to get started with BrickLink. The way I started with BrickLink is what I did is that when I made something and then I needed parts from like my already put together sets that were on my shelf, I would take parts from them and then I would put them on my mock. And then if like I didn't have enough of them, then I would like note them down. And then afterwards, I would like I'd basically have the skeleton of a mock in like ugly colors and basically put together like sometimes it would be a symmetrical mock and I would only make the half side. And then I could go on the internet and I would go on Brickset and I would look up all the sets where I took those parts from, look through the parts, look at the part number, and then go to BrickLink and then search for each part number and then the exact color that I needed. And that then was like a way to use BrickLink. Basically,
that's cool.
Yeah, basically that's the only way that I could manage to use BrickLink. So like whenever I need a part, I just think to my head like, oh, I bought that one set in 2007 that has that one part. I'll look that up on Brickset, and then on Brickset it gives me a link to BrickLink where I can order that part in any color that I want.
That does seem really helpful. Actually, like having the history and the knowledge of like where this part was and tracing that back.
Here's my issue,
because I never know what any of these pieces are called.
Not only do I know I don't know what the pieces are called. Here's my additional issue with that. Is that I got my Lego the way a lot of other people, I suspect, got Lego as well. It was passed down to me from another Asian family that had their kid go off to college, and they gave me a giant box of Lego. And I was like, cool, and I have a lot of classic space stuff. But I have no idea where to source stuff. I don't know what it's called. I don't know the pieces. I don't know where it was from.
At that point, you're going to have to browse through BrickLink and pick out what looks cool to you.
I was very lucky with that because I have... like, my collection is completely mine, except for one of my family friends, which I got his collection completely. What he had, he did the same, because, like, we sort of grew up together, but he's, like, 3 years older than me, and we had a thing where we had files in which we had all building instructions put in and, like, sorted. So that way there was, like, a system in which all the sets that he had, so I basically got his file with all the building instructions of all the sets he had ever gotten, and I added that to my already my other files with all of my instructions, and so there's like some sort of cataloging in terms of where all the Legos from, etc. So
that's pretty fantastic.
I might try that sometime. I might have to like go through my mind and like delete information that I no longer need. You know, like random BIONICLE trivia or like what book X was in, and then like actually start paying attention to like what is this piece called? What is that piece called? What is this color called?
One other thing with BrickLink that doesn't quite compute with my mind is just like the thought of like sitting there mocking and then being like, oh man, I need this piece, and then going on BrickLink and ordering it, and then having to wait for that to arrive.
No, that's the worst.
That would kill me. That would kill me.
That'd be so obnoxious.
I'm a procrastinator by nature.
It's a very big like patience thing. Like I said, I used 3 months on a mech, and there were many BrickLink times in between that. And like there's a lot of patience.
Oh god, that's so much.
But I bet it was a really cool mock.
It probably was.
It is. I mean, there's just a tremendous amount of planning. I mean, I got a lot of time on my hands. I actually don't. I just like doing the Lego stuff. Well, you'll see it when it's out there, I guess.
If there's one part of the Lego fan base and the Lego community that has really just kind of passed me by, it's definitely the mocking community. Like, I like to think that I'm not terrible at mocking, at least not with construction, and I am obviously a casual mockist and everything, but it's like, the mocking community is really hardcore. Like 100%, to the point where like I feel like if I were to even try to get into it. I don't know where to begin. Because there are so many people out there.
I honestly don't know where to tell you to begin.
I would, yeah, because like there's so many people out there that take it so seriously, and I just like, I wish that I could take it that seriously at the same time, but I feel like if I were to try and get into the mocking scene, it would not work for me. Like I don't know. I feel like I just get a lot of backlash because a lot of people not only do they take it so seriously, but they also on some outlets and some sites can get really like passionate about it to the point of a lot of negativity. I'm kind of scared to get into that, you know? Like I don't want to like post my mock and then cuz I've heard a lot of horror stories about this. I don't want to post my mock and then be like get a ton of comments where people are saying, "Oh, you just ripped this off from this person," or "This is nothing about this mock is new," or like all that kind of stuff. Like that stuff scares me. That's really intimidating.
As much as I love Flickr and the fact that their photo site is incredible, you like put a photo in there and it's like formatted already, gives you thumbnail, and there's like no downgrade in the quality and everything. Most of the comments and everything is completely unmoderated. Completely. And so like, and very rarely there will be like the actual people from Flickr themselves to like step in and be like, hey, it's not okay for you to post all these like private messages between these two people only to like initiate some sort of drama. And like
that sounds very specific.
That's happened. There's a lot of stuff that's happened through Flickr.
All the Flickr drama, do tell.
That is a legitimate thing because like it doesn't. And I mean, Flickr is pretty huge for like photo site, but most of them is just like hipsters who like take picture of like spiderweb with a little bit of water on it and then comment on each other. Oh, great shot! Like that's most of Flickr. I think most like there's only the 2% that it like use it as like a place to show off their mocks. Yeah, discussion, and like you will have people out there. There's the most common thing around everywhere is that people who post pictures related to clone troopers from Star Wars, they're referred to as clone tards. So like at some point during Flickr, everyone would just spam post any of the groups with that, and like that was a big thing. There's been a lot of stupid stuff, but I mean it's terrifying. It really is.
This culture stuff is like I would post a picture of clone troopers. That sounds like a fun picture to make. Like, if I had a bunch of clone troopers, I'd like to take like a little stock, like a nice like framed photo of them and everything, and then I'd post that, and everybody would like crap on me. I'm like, okay, I don't.
Like literally a couple days ago, I went through my feed, and there was like a picture, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and it has 3 favorites, and then I saw 112 comments, and I was like, oh. What's going on here? And it all started with one guy commenting, "Your mocks are trash," and then it was just a huge discussion of like people taking sides. And there's nothing stopping this. Okay. There's no moderation. There's no one that steps in, and like only the person with the photo can like lock down comments. But he doesn't care. He's getting like publicity.
Right. This sounds like the Wild West of image share.
What are you gonna say, Var?
This reminds me of a specific comment I remember saying when we were doing BrickFeed. I took a screenshot of it and put it in my Twitter because it was so funny to me. Because it really encapsulated not only like the Lego community, but specifically the BIONICLE community. It was on our BrickFeed video where we were talking about Liwa and our changes to Liwa and how we would make Liwa a female, or like if Liwa wasn't the choice, whether it could be any of the other Toa. And someone posted a comment that said, Tahu has to stay male. And then if you just look underneath, it says, view 99 more.
I remember that.
Yep.
I saw that and great. I lost it, dude. I laughed so much because it's so silly to think.
That's so great.
There are sensitive to something that like is never gonna happen anyway. It's like
it's such a silly, like small, like the tiniest. Like try explaining this situation to a caveman, right? And like explain why people are so passionate about this. Like it makes no sense.
I mean, just a normal person is like, hey, I'm really mad. Why? Because someone is making a fantasy version of something and it's never gonna happen. But I don't agree with how it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna. It's very weird. I don't even
No,
know.
it is. It is.
how to-
Listen,
The sheer
we just gotta
number of
follow the
replies.
advice. We just gotta follow the advice of live studio audience member Kopaka25. Just start by making a crunky wongy. You know, it all
I
comes
forgot
back
about
to
that.
creativity people have gotten
That was
astray.
I forgot about like
People have
that
lost their way.
campaign. Huh.
Yeah.
One thing that we'll tie back to the adult, like the AFOL mocking thing too. Like it is at a point right now where, for me especially, I'm past the point where I have the excuse of being a kid. Right? If I started doing this when I was 15 and I could get hate and I could get whatever, but that's the part of excuses like, oh, he's only 15 and as you grow older, you do something. So since I'm past that point, I don't have that excuse. I'm kind of nervous to get into it too, like what I was saying. It would be a cool video series, I feel, to do where it's like people getting into Lego. I feel like I'd love to do a thing where like we talk to people and they're like, okay, these are the basic parts you need to know. This is what this is called. Like I know, like like stuff like a 4x2 plate. Like I can, all right, sure. That definition, that seems sort of self-explanatory, right? It's just the studs and stuff. But there's other names and stuff, and they could be like, all right, this is what you need to know. You should memorize this firsthand, and then you can start doing this, and you're going to use this, study this instruction booklet, right? And then make sure that you have all this memorized, and then go to this thing, and then it's like, oh, well, you're trying to build this. Well,
It'd be a really cool
we found out
experiment.
that, yeah. I don't know who would be the mentor that we would find that would take us through, be our Sensei Wu in this,
I would love a
endeavor,
series
but
like done by X, or maybe not a series, maybe just a one-off video like mocking for dummies, and he like goes through the basics of like what it means.
I mean,
to
I
make a
know
system mock.
like a couple tips here and there, but like there's just such a wide range. I mean, there's if you go to Flickr, there's this guy called Nanan Zhang or something, and he basically like specializes in just using parts that nobody uses, and he uses it to like the most incredible things. I was like if I could take one of his mocks and just crumble it to just only pieces, I would be like, I can't make anything out of these, and he'd be like, I got you, fam. Like he is absolutely incredible in what he does, but he is a big user when it comes to like, I'm actually going to link to him because he is his photo stream is it's pretty neato burrito what he has, but there's a lot of illegal builds on there, and that's a whole nother discussion.
oh
And
boy, I
I'm
only knew about illegal builds like maybe 3 years ago.
I'm
After being in
way
the community for a very long
oversensitive about
time.
it compared to like
No, I mean,
I
I think
remember
it's a big
talking,
deal.
like,
A lot of people
bringing
talk
you
about
on
it,
X was the first time I ever heard about illegal builds.
Same.
yeah.
well, I think
It's
it's
just
like
a thing
a
that's
system
not really
thing.
that bad in construction. Yeah, it's not really that bad in
because
construction.
with Technic, the whole thing about like Technic and BIONICLE is that they are put together incredibly like you can't you put two bars and stuff together, they don't go apart very well. With system, there's so many small bits and stuff, and you just play around with them, and it's just like, oh, this is barely held together. This works for a photo, and it's just yeah.
I love how you replied to Vin's tweet about the Lego Boost.
Yeah,
stuff,
I
about
like-
illegal
like-
builds.
I thought about that afterwards. I was like, I mean, it's one of those things where like I'll go on Destiny and I'm like look at their loadout and I'm like, hey, all your weapons you're using are trash, and it's like in my mind, it's like I am completely right here. That his weapons is DPS. He is a
Those
detriment to his
illegal
team
builds
and
are
everything.
trash.
And
So Vin's
everything.
mock is trash, is
But
what you're
like,
saying?
no, that was just another example. But like, the thing is that like, even though you're right, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to say it or like it
I thought it was
makes
funny.
them happy.
Even
I thought
though
it was
you're
funny.
right. doesn't
Yeah, I
mean you
mean,
have to
like
say it.
afterwards, I was like,
I thought
you
it
know
was
what?
funny too.
I don't know. I will say one thing though that is completely not relevant to what I'm saying right now, but it's relevant to something
Yeah.
that I said we talked about earlier, but I just need to say it now before I forget it, and it's regarding BrickLink. A good way to use BrickLink is that when you look up any parts, you can have an option to add to your wish list. So say you go through all the parts, the process that I talked about earlier, you add all of those to a wish list, and then you can go back later to that website and you can click on your wish list and say you found all the parts that you need to make your mocks, and then you click buy all this stuff. What it will do then is that it will show you a list of everything that you put in your wish list, and then it will to the right show you all the buyers and how many of those specific parts they have. And then you can like put out like, hey, do I want all these parts from one guy so that I'd save a lot on shipping, but like the parts he might have them like slightly overpriced, and then you you can just figure out what's the cheapest way to do it. And like these are the usual process of people do. You don't actually go on someone's Bricklink and then go through every single part that he has and then adds to a cart. It's not like the normal way of like going through eBay.
Right.
Etc.
Well, sounds like a great
that
system.
comes with knowledge of like which pieces are useful for which.
It's a lot of knowledge, but I just...
They also have a new feature now with Bricks.io where you can like import your LDD model and then you can like find it on Bricklink and stuff.
That is cool.
Like find your, I believe you can. That's what they advertise. I don't know if the functionality is all there, but that's what the idea is that you can either build with Bricks.io or import an existing LDD model, and then all those parts that are there will be categorized. You can search for them on Bricklink.
That's the biggest thing because you can test out concepts and ideas in LDD quite easily. Especially we're talking about system building. That's really where LDD shines. Obviously, like I used it for years to just make construction mocks, but it's so difficult because of articulation and the like, but you can test out whatever you want with bricks, you know.
The issue with LDD though is that you make something and then it's just like if you made that in real life, it would not work.
Right.
Sometimes, but you have to like take inventory. You got to make sure, you know.
No, I totally get it. Like when you prototype something, it's hard when you're building it on a digital thing. The gravity isn't applied. There's no physics engine applied to LDD, so you can't stress test anything. You can't see how it works. So it's still useful for a lot of things, but at the same time, it's not what you need to make your final mock around.
Nope.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed this discussion, but I do think we need to get into the news. There's a lot of stuff. I always want to do an episode where we devote entirely talking about the LEGO community and the mocking community and just like the AFLL. I know we're basically almost done with this, and we have all this news to get to.
Oh no!
So it's just one of those things. We're gonna have to speed through past some of this, but we're just gonna get right into it, guys. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Sure, man.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Let's go. The first thing we're going to talk about is a ToysRUs bankruptcy. For most of you who don't know, ToysRUs has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, that does not mean that they're closing. They're not closing down all the stores yet. They are restructuring their debt. So that the Chapter 11 just allows them to kind of like change how things are made.
And it certainly does not bode well for their future success.
It does not. Actually, a big deal that's happening is that a lot of smaller toy companies have cut ties with ToysRUs because basically when you declare bankruptcy, you're saying, I'm not able to pay this up. So what happens at ToysRUs, basically they bought a bunch of stuff, from retailers. Or not retailers, they're the retailer. They bought all this stuff from like production studios and like maybe smaller toy companies that aren't Mattel and Hasbro and Lego. They bought them like, the startup companies, and then they put them up on store shelves. Then they spent the money they got back in profits on doing all sorts of other stuff. So now they still owe these people a ton of money. So they restructured their debt. That means essentially they don't have to pay that. And a lot of the smaller toy companies have cut ties with ToysRUs because a lot of them aren't getting paid. And it
maybe they should stop like putting price ups on their products, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. So they purchased the toys from small companies.
Right.
And they put the toys up on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly did the small companies have against ToysRUs again? Because surely they got the money, right? They had to purchase the toys first.
No, remember, they got the money in the sense that like ToysRUs said that we will pay you guys at this point in time. That's why they have so much debt.
Okay.
Right? And so when
they
restructured their debt,
flaked on basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's like an interest sort of thing. It's like, hey,
right,
give
exactly.
us these sets first, or these toys first, and we'll sell them, and then we'll give you your money.
You should give you your money, right? ToysRUs owes $7.5 billion to a group that includes virtually every major toy maker in the company. This is directly I'm reading from the Washington Post. Mattel, they owe $136 million. Hasbro is $59 million. Spin Masters, $33 million. Lego, $32 million. And Crayola, $2.6 million.
Wow. That is... How do you run a business like that? That is
That's
crazy.
why people
Sales actually
do other retailers do this? Surely other retailers don't do that.
No, other retailers do it all the time.
Really?
Is this a thing? This is a thing?
I didn't know that. I always thought that you had to buy stock first and then you sell that stock. Like it always starts from, the retailer.
No, I mean, like, of course you have to buy, like, that's how it works on a smaller level. Once you get to a giant company and you have several $1 million on the line, then you start being like, okay, we can pay you X amount now and X amount later, or we can do this and that. Right. So like, there's a lot more things, and people are more willing to, play with you now that they know that you have this much money riding on you.
Interesting.
Let me see. There's a company here called I'm trying to find the name of it. There's a startup company that does a lot of toys, and basically they aren't doing very well. The holiday season has cut into their, like not having Toys R Us around for the holidays has been a big deal, and additionally, they're not getting the money that they thought they were going to get. So smaller toy startups, they are kind of in panic mode. They're in what is known as their business critical, or what LEGO likes to call business critical. They have a widespread panic following the Toys R Us bankruptcy. So read that article if you want a bit more information on that. That's a little dour. What do you guys think about Toys R Us as a whole, overall?
Do I wish for a company to fail? No. That'd be quite petty. I have no love lost for Toys R Us as an entity.
Here's my thing, is that if Toys R Us goes under, then there are literally, as far as I know, 0 major toy retailers now that focuses on toys.
Yes, there are no, all the other ones shut down a long while ago, like KB Toys.
Yeah.
Remember?
Here's the thing. Toys R Us has always been the major toy reseller or retailer this whole time, and like obviously the smaller ones like KB Toys they've kind of vanished over time. But like it seems like this is pretty much the turn of the milestone here. This is the direction toys as a whole are going, in my eyes, is what I see, at least when I hear this announcement, is that toy stores just aren't a thing anymore. Once Toys R Us is gone, there are no toy stores.
Yeah.
And
about electronics.
Without toy stores, there's gonna major decline in toys. So
But aren't there like small like toy stores, or is it just Toys R Us in America? Because like I have
there are local toy stores.
There are
very few and far between.
There are local toy stores. Honestly, most local toy stores are awful though. They usually sell they try to sell like really pretentious like learning toys or whatever. That's like
but
they also
they
mark up the price.
For us, we're Lego fans.
And they're marked up a lot.
We relate to Toys R Us in the sense that we go there to get like new current Lego sets. That's always been our purpose for that store. Local toy stores do not have that option. They don't get, massive waves of stock, you know what I mean? They're smaller establishments. You're never going to go to like a local American toy store and get all the new waves of Lego. They'll have older stuff if they have Lego at all. You'll be
here's
left
what
with
I'm wondering.
Walmart, Target, and other brand stores that have toys as a subsidiary.
What I'm wondering is, like, I see a Lego store in a lot of malls. I've been to a lot of cities. They have a lot of Lego stores.
Yeah, Lego brand store. Lego's not going to die because of this.
Yeah, right. I've never seen a Mattel store or a Hasbro store.
True.
So what's going to happen?
Thinking emoji.
If Toys R Us, if Toys R Us goes bankrupt completely, if they say we're closing down shop, we're done. Not a Chapter 11, but an actual thing. Because even though restructuring their debt, that does not mean they're in the clear.
What was the
Things
first
can go
10
really badly
chapters
for them.
about?
They were about the story of Lazarus.
Is that like an expression?
blank.
Like that was a legitimate question. I don't.
No. Chapter 11 is just a type of bankruptcy. There's different types of bankruptcy, and like this.
There's so many types of bankruptcy. I thought there was just
Yeah.
one, which was like out of
No,
money.
there's different.
Bankruptcy is
It's a
a
whole legal
confusing
thing.
Oh,
It's a very confusing thing.
Let's not get into it then.
They're essentially defaulting under debt. But what I'm wondering is, what's the future of Toys R Us, and what happens to toys when that's no longer around? When we were in New York with Tim from Lego, one thing he did mention was that like it would be nicer that the thing that Toys R Us really needs is a way to change up how their toy store looks. How it looks, how it functions. They've been very slow to adapt that store. I feel after like showcasing the Lego Boost to a bunch of kids all day in New York, I do feel that people are way more engaged when they can actually play with the toy and engage with it, and you need people to showcase that. And one of the issues is that you can't do that for Toys R Us. You might be able to do that for Lego, like a Lego store where you have one product and you sell that one type of product, but you can't have every employee in Toys R Us, informed on every single toy that's coming out and as basically a salesman to everybody.
True.
So every toy store should just have only Lego. There you go. Problem solved.
There you go. Just don't make any more toys except for Lego. That's it.
Really weird though. Like the thing about like toy stores in America, etc. Because I do always complain about the whole thing in Norway about like, hey, we get everything really late except Star Wars for some reason. We get Star Wars 2 months before anyone else. And with that said, though, any toy store that there's 2 toy stores locally in my little city that has 200,000 people, and it's like the 3rd biggest city in this entire country. There's 2 toy stores here, and both of them have a Lego section in them, like at the very back, basically like like a normal grocery store. They have all like the bread and milk, all the important stuff all the way at the back, so that if you need that, you need to go through all the candy and everything. So it's a buying thing, but like it's all the way, every single toy store in Norway, all the Lego is all the way at the very back, because that's where the money is. That's what everyone wants. That's what everyone's going to look at. So they just put it all the way in the back.
Bread
put it
at
in
the
the
front.
back, huh? That's
interesting.
I feel like most places here, if like the stuff that people want, they put in the front.
Well, they want people to walk all the way to the back to get it and see the toys on their way out.
But even though these local toy stores are so small, they have both these 2 toy stores. They have every single line of Lego there at all times. They have old Lego City. They have all the Technic sets. They have everything every single time. So that's weird to me.
I think what you're saying is why you guys get like stuff so late, because you have individual toy stores in your country. We have a giant toy retailer here in America called ToysRUs that gets all the, they get all the inventory. They're able to distribute it out to all their stores in advance.
There's 2 ToysRUs in Norway, though.
That might make a bit of difference.
But that's literally just the brand name, and that's nothing else. It's not ToysRUs at all. It's just they're just paying for like the name, and that's it.
I talked to my friends on campus about ToysRUs closing. They didn't know it filed for bankruptcy. They thought, like, when I first mentioned it to them, they thought, "Oh no, that's actually
did you
all the
mention it
stores
was
are closing
Chapter
down."
11?
I did not. At first, I want to see the reaction. And it was interesting, and a friend of mine gave me a perfect analogy, because they said, I said, I'm irrationally angry about this, is what she said. And I'm like, oh, really? And it's like, yeah, I kind of I don't think they should do it. It's like, it seems like they're kind of taken away from my childhood. I was like, do you care enough about it to go buy some toys at a Toys R Us? And she's like, no, not actually, though. And she said, it's like if someone told me Chuck E. Cheese was closing down. I'd be like, oh, no, I used to love Chuck E. Cheese. And then I'd be like, all right, well, anyhow.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go, right?
It's like
there's not much to go past
sense of sadness. Really.
It's like
nostalgic sadness.
It's like if someone is bulldozing your old childhood home, and you're like, "Oh, that's sad. I grew up there."
Do you only eat cheese at Chuck E. Cheese? Is that
no?
Yes, it's all cheese.
You only eat cheese.
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
You have a pizza
it's
with
a
like
pizza
5
place.
kinds of cheese,
so it's a
and
pizza
you can spray
place.
cheese. Yeah.
You throw the cheese, you chuck it at the bread.
Stop.
That's why you get to eat.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. Enough.
If Bar didn't say anything, I would think that was legitimate.
What if you have a pizza crust stuffed with string cheese? Yeah.
The joke isn't
that
funny.
Sounds way too much. That sounds. But yeah, moving on.
It's a casino for kids. That's all you need.
Well,
it's a casino for kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
You get pizza and there's the games and stuff.
I liked my cheese jokes.
Your cheese jokes are awful, and you should
very
feel bad.
cheesy.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
I'm sad about Toys R Us. I feel like without a major toy retailer, that's a big drop in the toy business.
Is it only the one?
It's the only major toy retailer. Like, obviously, you still have your major retailers like Target and Walmart that will stock toys.
Oh, yeah, you guys have that as well. There's food.
Yeah, but Toys R Us is the only store, like, nationally that focuses solely on toys. So I feel like with that going out of the way, that's just a major change in the tide here. I think that people are moving on.
Go on.
Do you think this is going to affect Lego brand retail?
I think it'll affect every other company but Lego, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think
it's probably
eventually
it could affect a little bit, It must be.
I don't think at the moment it's going to affect them, but it could in the future.
Well, I mean, you think it'll be better or worse for them?
Well, I don't know. I feel like Lego has been very smart about the situation as opposed to like Mattel. Like you already mentioned how there isn't a Mattel store, right? Lego was very smart in deciding to make their own retailer and focusing on their own distribution with their own platform and their own shop and their own website that I think a lot of toy companies have been really, ignoring. I think that's going to be their undoing
Barbie brand store.
Once these retailers start, fading away. I mean, the retailer idea in general is kind of a dead concept nowadays too. Like malls, for instance, malls are dead. Yeah. Malls have started dying. You can find YouTube channels where they're like documenting malls across the nation where they've just
why are malls dying?
Abandoned. Because no one goes to them anymore. You buy online.
Yeah, what do you need them for?
What, really?
There's literally no point in going to a mall anymore.
When I was in Houston,
there was
a mall
thing, and that's it.
with a food court in it at the bottom.
No,
there's
some places that are still very social. Even the mall up by your place bar is still very
ice skating
active.
there, man. You can't buy that online.
There is there's an element to like going to a place, having a place you go to with a lot of storefronts. That's still something that's still an experience people will go to. However, on the flip side, a lot of your normal day-to-day stuff is being taken care of by actually, going online and getting your stuff. But to be fair, on the flip side, you would think that the store that would suffer the most from online would be Walmart, right? Because I'm thinking like groceries and stuff, and I'm thinking like small stuff. I really don't need to. Yeah, but Walmart's still around, and Target. I don't feel like those are under as much fire as the other retail stores are. So I don't know.
X, give it 10 years, you can ice skate in VR.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 Mattel stores. Fun fact, I just looked it up. There are 5 Mattel stores.
5?
If you actually go to search Mattel Toy Store, they'll give you a link to like locations. And I clicked on it, and it said 404 not found. Like it gave me an error message. So
hey, is there a store here? No, it's 404, man. I'm sorry.
Is this a store? It's 404.
Let me see if there's a Hasbro store as well. And see if there's actually like physical locations for Hasbro.
With that said, though, this is funny though, because like a friend of mine, there's actually like a job application to work at ToysRUs in Norway that was sent to me the other day because it was like, hey, you like Lego? Do you want a job here? And I'm like, a job? But like, that's funny that it's like going under in America, and it's like, and here it's like, hey, employment, because there's a huge crisis in terms of jobs in Norway because of the oil crisis. So anywhere that offers a job, people will flock to like ants on like sugar or something. I don't know. Like it's
Fair enough.
Weird, And also, why is there still not a Lego brand store in Norway? Because there's one in Sweden and there's one in Denmark, and Denmark's
no one cares about Norway.
Of course, there's one in Denmark. Of course, there's one in Denmark.
Yeah, but like, couldn't there be one here? I mean, I could be like the store guy. It's just Lego. Contact me.
I always wanted a Lego store, but no one likes me.
We can make a store here in Norway. There's people that want it.
I do think that, like, especially with some of the stuff like Boost or some of the other things, that Lego could try to expand a little more with what they have in their stores. I do like the fact that they do have very clear glass cases where you can walk around and see a 360 of some of the sets.
That was definitely a big deal for me when I was younger, and they didn't have them as good as they do now, or as often.
I wonder if like they could do more, like showing a Boost off to a lot of kids. I feel like that got them very involved in that, and I feel like a lot of parents didn't know the extent of it until they saw it in person.
Definitely.
Same thing I would say if like, they could have a kiosk where you can play the Lego video games too, I guess. But I don't know if they actually do want to promote video games in their stores. That might be something that they're like
John, I'm getting the feeling that you were in New York showing Lego Boost for Lego. I don't know.
No,
I'm getting that
Why would give you that impression?
Just a hunch.
Why? Just a
little hunch,
I feel like I'm like one of those guys like on a first date who's also trying to slip in something, or he's like, yeah, well, my dad owes a Fortune 400 company. So I'm sorry, dude. I'm super excited about it, and I haven't gotten the chance to talk about it yet on the podcast. So
get hyped this week. You'll hear the topsy-turvy tale.
No, man, you'll hear the full story. I'm going to move on from Toys R Us, and because we only got a couple more minutes left, I'm just going to go rapid fire, some quick news. LEGOLand New York is moving forward. They finally approved. LEGOLand is on track to be released in 2019. It's the first one, I believe, here on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's about time.
Dude, I'm so excited. We should think about going sometime. We'll get everyone together.
Apparently, LEGOLand's really lame.
It's amazing.
No,
this new one,
it's great, but it is specifically for a certain target demographic, and we are not that demographic.
That is what I heard from certain people here.
We gotta see the Bonkle statues.
But there was
LEGOLand.
Apparently they're rolling out some VR roller coasters and stuff, and so like they're adding that new technology element to their.
What do you mean? What ride died Peel car?
VR roller coasters?
Yeah,
What's
let me find
point
this.
of
Let me
roller
get you this
coasters?
article.
You can just buy them online, VR. Yeah.
It's like, isn't like half the fun the momentum that you feel and like the wind and the sensation? You can't simulate that with VR.
No. Okay, I think you're kind of. I don't know if you're like in the exact same mindset. It's the same thing as Harry Potter. You know how Harry Potter has that thing where like you're on the you're in the coaster and you have the VR and you're riding on the broomstick and everything.
I know of it. I have not done it personally.
I don't see. That's so weird. Like, isn't the point of like a roller coaster to like? What? Why?
It kind of enhances your
It's
experience.
like VR food.
Listen,
Yeah, exactly.
I've been to. I think I haven't been to Universal in a
VR
while,
roller coaster sounds like
but
a slippery slope.
It's like eating a VR sandwich.
It's like we.
I think. Listen, I
think it sounds.
you
I
guys
feel
try it,
like
yeah,
that
I
has
think you guys-
a lot of potential to really, really disorient you, though. Like in a really severe.
You know, motion sickness,
way.
definitely.
Yeah,
The
that's
whole-
what
You
I'm.
need
That's
to,
what I'm
like-
concerned
I think you
about.
could do even crazier, like unrealistic
I think
stuff
here's
in a
what's
VR
gonna happen.
atmosphere.
You guys need to try it and then
Like
talk
people
about it.
get
I mean,
severe
the
motion
whole- the
sickness
whole-
from
It's
just.
one of those things that like you don't realize, like until you've
I can
ridden
totally
the
see the
coaster and
potential of it,
stuff.
like right, like I can already see like a Jurassic Park ride or whatever, where like you're just in like a little cart that moves like forward, and that's literally it. But like you're wearing a VR headset, and you can look around and see like dinosaurs walking past you, and you're in like a
Right,
little
like
jeep
a
thing.
Jurassic World Park,
I
right?
suppose
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can shake off the constraints of reality that can
But,
limit
like,
people,
the
like
whole
people
thing-
do animatronics and stuff. But like,
The whole thing about roller coasters is that, like, hey, I'm sitting here, and if this thing goes off, I might die. You know, that's not there
That-
with
I mean,
VR.
That's what I'm. Well, it is still there because
No,
think
it's
about
VR. It's not real.
No.
It feels
You
fake.
are no.
Nothing is
I don't think you understand
don't.
what it means.
Have you tried VR before, X?
X, I like you.
It's
I
not.
have tried a type of VR, but I should
Okay, to
mention
be
it
fair,
on the
It's not
podcast.
real.
To be fair, I don't actually know what this roller coaster entails, but what I am imagining here is a scenario in which you are riding a roller coaster that is like a normal roller coaster. It's still a roller coaster, but you're also
Right.
wearing a VR headset, so everything in your
Exactly.
surroundings is changed. You are no longer riding a roller coaster in Florida. You're riding that roller coaster in, like, I don't know, like space. You're riding a spaceship or something. All the motion that you're feeling on the roller coaster, though, translates because you're still riding a roller coaster, but for you, visually, it looks like you're in space.
No, you're not just sitting in a seat like
Yeah,
somewhere
you're not
and putting
sitting in a
the headset
seat
on.
while the
Yeah,
thing
and
moves.
no,
You know,
You're still
actually
moving in real
coaster.
life.
Yeah, you're
You were
still,
still
in a coaster,
riding a
it's just
roller
what you're
coaster.
seeing is different.
I'm gonna
I
hit
get
you with the, whatever, like, VR thing that's you're gonna put on their head or something. That's gonna either be, like, really greasy or disgusting or, like, puke on it. Like, it sounds horrible on paper.
I like
I'm sorry.
how we.
Puke is a real thing.
I like
that
how
could
you
happen,
moved
to be
from
fair.
your past problem to a completely new problem after we addressed it, and you're not gonna like respond to that at all.
The
The
Awesome.
You're not-
world
yeah, you're
is
not gonna-
filled with issues. Everything is
Okay.
bad.
Okay, all right. Well, LEGOLand is
appreciate you,
on
I-
track to be completed. So I
To
think
be
it's
fair,
2019. So
Magic Ninja did mention that there is a Legoland in Florida, so technically it's not new to East Coast. However, I like to
Oh,
pretend
you're
that
right.
Florida doesn't exist. So
How many Legolands is there in America?
like red versus blue, it just cut off.
yeah,
Suck it.
exactly.
There's 3? That's 3 more than there is in Norway.
someone's a little jealous. Oh no, I'm getting a little hints that someone might be
Yeah.
a little.
It's-
Uh,
you
I'm
might
not
have a couple
jealous.
and a
I'm
half here,
just,
man.
I would love to have a Legoland and like to get like Lego fries every day. That'd be great.
All right. So a bit more of almost saddening news. Wes Jenkins, the creative director, writer, and designer for Lego Island, has recently passed away. The report came in on the 24th. So he was a very influential person in creating a line that reached a lot of people and was a cornerstone of their childhood. So
He was
you know,
he
our
was the
sympathies are with
guy
the
that
family.
made
and-
the only good Lego games. There you go.
Man, that's a very strong assertion, and
Well,
I
because
kind of agree
Lego
with it because I
Islands-
did play those games. I did like them.
All
I
right.
played Lego Island for the Game Boy, not for the PC, because I couldn't afford a PC that was
John,
that good.
You talked about this with like the Lego games about like it needed something new, something changed, la-di-da,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I'm gonna hit you with there's more innovation from Lego Island 1 to 2 than there is innovation from Lego Star Wars 1 to the latest Lego game.
I completely believe it. TT Games just releases the same game with a different skin. For about 10, 15 years now, they've been doing that. So I totally believe you. I actually want to play the Lego Island games. I want to get started on that.
I've played through them so many times on my PlayStation 1, and it's so great revisiting all the old Lego system places that have like a big place in my heart. But I mean, it's gonna be less for you because I don't know, like how much Lego Thunder, like Johnny Thunder, meant for you, or like
dude, Johnny Thunder was. I love.
You
Johnny
literally
Thunder.
meet Johnny Thunder in Lego Island.
Do you really?
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty
then you
cool.
go on
All right.
like some Indiana Jones rip-off stuff. It's great. It's amazing. You should really do it.
I have been to the Discovery Center. That was definitely not geared towards me. You're not like I went there when I was like 17. My brother was 10, and even he was a little like, well, this is a little young for me.
If you want to play through Lego Island, we should do the thing that Meso and that other guy did with Minogue. You know, like
let's do it. Actually, do you want to play Lego Island?
Yeah, I can watch you do everything wrong and yell at you while you play it. It'll be fun. You know,
let's do it. It'll be fun. Let's legitimately get this started.
Yeah, Wadon was the one that suggested that. Just
so the Discovery Center thing is in the live studio audience. I want to make that clear. It's a conversation going on right now, and we're talking about it, so I brought it up. X, let's do it. I'll find out your schedule.
Not right now. Right now, I'm in the middle of a podcast.
No. We're gonna play right now. Just forget this podcast. I'm gonna install this game right now. I'm gonna do it.
All right. See you, Meso and Var. We're gonna do some important stuff.
Okay.
There's another piece of news I found really interesting and kind of close to home because it took place in Singapore, which is very close to Malaysia. Actually, formerly a part of Malaysia, but where
I thought you lived in America.
My family's from. Yes, I do live in America. X, thank you. There were Lego knockoffs pulled off store shelves. There was like a knockoff Lego that were being sold on store shelves in Singapore. And Singapore, for the record, is a very like upper class country.
There's no gum there.
The cost of living there. Yeah, there's no gum. It's very strict.
Yeah.
Upper
And
class
a lot of people that live there, the cost
when
of
you
living.
have gum.
The cost of living is very high there. So it's like, it's not just a place where you do see knockoffs there, but it's like, that's why it's a cut above generally. Now here's the issue with these knockoff sets that made them noteworthy. They were ISIS themed.
What?
They were ISIS themed.
Are they really knockoffs? That's kind of like a theme Lego hasn't stepped into. You know, there's Ninjago,
he's got a point
Star
there.
Wars, and then there's ISIS. You know,
Or like some original stuff going on now.
I don't know if that'd get a TV show.
Yeah, no, maybe not going to be put in a cinematic universe.
The Lego
Probably not
ISIS
looking forward to that
movie.
ISIS movie.
I mean, Brickmania stepped into like themes Lego wouldn't touch, but I mean, ISIS.
I don't know. They might not want to touch that one.
Jeez.
Better than Ninjago movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
You're a little too old for Lego Friends and Ninjago. Well, we got the perfect one.
What
for
do you know? They still somehow crammed in a plot point about a father and his son.
Yep.
No, but for real, these sets were they're being sold in Chinese. They actually say, I believe it says, the Chinese words for terrorist association are printed on the packaging.
Could you imagine
of
giving
course.
this to a 7-year-old? Just hey.
Yeah, like imagine it's like a kid going up to the store and being like, "Oh, look, it's mommy. It's the little Lego ninjas, and look, it's the Lego terrorists. Like the ones you see on those."
Hey,
All right.
That's something. That's
A Lego spokesman did come out and say, obviously enough, this is not us. They didn't use those words exactly, but they're like, yeah, obviously enough, the
This
Lego
is not
ISIS
sanctioned.
sets. Not sanctioned by Lego, not made by Lego at all. They're just a knockoff thing. So there you go. In case you were wondering what's new in the world today, that's what's new.
That was some fun stuff right there.
All right, let's talk about the new set that was released, the direct-to-consumer set off the Lego Batman movie, the Joker Manor, 70922. I'm going to post a link article for this.
It's really cool.
It's a pretty cool set. It's
That's
a little pricey for me.
That's
That's
the
my
thing,
thing.
though. It's pretty cool. but it's completely overshadowed by other stuff out right now.
Yeah, it's like there's way too much other stuff I'd rather buy this year. It's neat, but like between Ninjago City and like the Millennium Falcon and whatnot, at this price point, I'd rather start saving for other stuff.
Do you know, I'm kind of disappointed because when I heard there were rumors going around, of course, you know, we no one talk about them. We hear them. There's the Batman D2C cut coming out, and my first inclination, I knew there's rumors about the Manor and stuff beforehand. My first thought was Lego Gotham City, a Lego modular Gotham City. It's gonna happen. I'm so excited for it. And then the Manor came out, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's all right.
I think it's very.
It's not what I was expecting.
It's very
Credit where credit is due,
specialized in that because it's the Manor. But it's when
But
it's
it's when
taken
the
over by
Joker took
Joker
over.
for those 10 minutes in the movie. Like, that's very specialized, you know?
I will give credit where credit is due, though. Also, this is one of the better Lego Batman movie sets, if not my favorite of.
Probably the best, yeah. I liked it better than the Ultimate
It
Batman
has
movie.
good construction, and it's got a lot of cool play features, but you're right, it does not have that same lasting appeal for collectors as alternative things would have.
I think a modular city, the same way they did Ninjago City, they did one for Gotham, you know, and it was like
that would
iconic
be really
stuff.
Cool.
Oh man, like the bat signals on the top. It's like it could be like part of the GCPD building, and the other part is I don't know, like the bank or just something that like, and you have like the villains in there. The thing I dislike about this is that they have 4 minifigures reused. In a D2C set, I found that rather disappointing, honestly. That they had Barbara Gordon, Harley Quinn, Joker, and Batman reused from other sets. I feel like this should be the part where they do other villains or other like minifigures that were in the movie that we didn't get to see.
Totally agreed. I like Harley Quinn. I'm sick of seeing Harley Quinn in sets.
Wasn't there a
minifigure,
rumor
but
like
she's in all of them?
wasn't Condiment King supposed to be in this one?
Not this one.
I don't know. It doesn't look like he's there.
Okay, never mind. Well, cut that. All right. Yeah. I honestly, I think it's a cool idea, but like, it's just the price that overshadows it, and the fact that there's so much other great sets out. I would honestly save the extra $100 and get the Ninjago City rather than this set. So that's just me, though. They do come with the cool new roller coaster pieces. That is new. They haven't really had those before, so a lot of people are excited to get
sure
those.
it's not the ones from Lego Friends?
VR's better.
It might be. I don't know. It might look. It does look very new, but
From what I've been reading, no, you're right. There are roller coaster pieces in Lego Friends.
Yeah,
so
but
I've
I
been
think
reading
these
they're
are
completely
different because I look at the roller coaster that I'm seeing, like the carts, they like attached and they're not like wheels. Like they're on Lego Friends, so they might actually be different. I will give them props though that my mild spoiler for the Batman movie. The white suits, you know, a lot of people really like
the
those.
white suits are amazing.
Yeah, and they were
cool.
like, "Oh, we're never gonna get sets with these," and you're like, "That." I think that's like the big thing here about the set.
That is the big thing for me.
It's kind of like, like the set is cool and everything, but like if you put this next to the Ninjago set or you do the Disney Castle thing, that like it doesn't feel as detailed or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something off.
It definitely feels like it's missing something for sure.
Yeah,
The
there's
Ninjago
like,
City
wow,
looks like it's complex and in every way, shape, or form. This looks like a slightly better version of a normal set we get.
Yeah,
And it won't have an interior either. Or at least not much of one.
No, it's a dollhouse. I don't like the dollhouse.
It's another one
sets.
of those stupid sets where it's like it's half of a building. I hate these.
Right.
I can't stand
No,
these.
I really don't like them. That's why I love the Ninjago City. When I saw that, I'm like,
Exactly.
no, you mean no way?
It's like a
super
full
awesome.
thing on all sides. You can you can display it in any side you want, and it still looks awesome. Here,
The one thing I will say is that this thing reminds me of just a better done version of the LEGOLand set that they released
it does.
recently.
Yeah,
it does.
that's
it looks
true.
a lot
So
like. Dude,
I'll give it some credit in that aspect.
can we just
Of course,
talk for a
it's like
second
triple
about
the
how
price.
bad Jokerland was compared to this? Look at that. Look how look how pathetic that is.
Should have pictured it in the
That was really bad.
It's so
I think
bad.
It had the only thing it had going for it.
so much
was,
because there's Beast Boy and there's
Beast
It
Boy
does have
and
better
Starfire.
minifigure
Yeah.
diversity.
it does
Yeah.
have the Teen Titans, you know. Oh,
And it has them not in the stupid anime style too that they have
So
for
can
the
I break
Quinn
BrickFeed
there
for like
is
10 seconds?
dimensions.
it's
All right, sure.
I'm gonna break BrickFeed protocol for 10 seconds. How about that Teen Titans Go movie? You mentioned the Teen Titans.
There's Teen Titans Go movie.
I know.
Theatrical movie.
You know,
dude, let's not talk.
Meso,
Why did you even bring this up here? You could say
Because
that
of
for a
Teen
TV
Titans.
thing.
Meso.
Yeah,
Teen
dude,
Titans
what,
episode.
just wait for the
As well.
TTV podcast.
That
dude.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to be
we have
on.
another-
Meso.
It hasn't been scheduled yet.
Meso.
Yeah, it has
You could
been,
do one
actually.
next week.
He could be on the one next week. I'm not going to be there. So
Meso,
you
you
can do
know
that.
earlier how you said that like you think it'd be too petty to like wish upon ToysRUs and stuff, etc. I genuinely want Teen Titans Go to just die. Just
And you know they're going to make Lego sets for it, too.
uh,
So, that's that. What's next?
I mean, I love the old Teen Titans, but yeah, I'm not gonna talk
No,
about that.
X,
For
we
3
gotta,
hours.
we gotta move on. I want to talk about Teen Titans someday, but we'll move on.
Same.
Let's talk about the last thing on our news docket. Before we get to the extra mock, that's a Ninjago movie. We talked about it in the coverage, so we're not going to go too much over what our opinions of the movie. You can go check that out there. It just got released. My main thing, I want to talk about how it's doing at the box office, because we got a couple numbers when we talked about it in the review. Now we have official numbers, and we're seeing how it compares to the other movies, and the general consensus is that the movie is not just bad critically, it's not, received bad enough, and has also bombed at the box office.
Oh,
To a
man.
very, very
Times
low.
as less as the
To
Lego movie.
21 million.
Oh,
3 times
three
less.
times.
No way! Are you serious?
Wait,
Look at the
what?
box office comparisons.
The
I'm
3
gonna
times
copy
what?
this link.
Man, that is
This
not
is the
good.
opening in Box Office Mojo. They reported that on opening night, opening weekend, the Lego movie received 69 million domestically. The Lego Batman movie, 53 million domestically. Ninjago movie, 20 million.
20
Only
million.
20 million people. Oh,
Over $3.
It's over 3. It's almost 4 times as much the Lego movie got on their opening weekend.
Almost. It's very close.
And
Jeez, dude.
I
It is
have
a
been trying to
massive
figure
flaw.
out what the deal is with the Ninjago movie, because I'm looking at here. I'm going to search up something real quick so I have the exact numbers. The opening numbers. You know what the opening numbers are for the Emoji movie?
Better.
Oh no! Don't tell me.
thinking
I
emoji.
I'm looking up here, so it's
Oh, you don't
it's
know,
coming
okay.
right here. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were
Opening
just going to
weekend
bomb
was
us with the news on
24 million. So the Emoji movie on its
Made
first
more?
weekend made more than the Ninjago movie.
Yeah, but they have no dignity.
Yeah, well, apparently
Sure.
having no dignity it works.
No.
The lifetime total gross was 84 million
TJ
over
Miller,
time.
why?
The Ninjago TV show must reshape to be emoji-centric, like they reshaped the Ninjago movie. I gotta go with what works.
I love the emojis in the chat. Oh.
Can we get in my emoji movie sets? Lego sets? Think about it.
I'm thinking about it, and my thing is no. But the important thing to take away from this, the biggest deal that I see is going around now is brand fatigue. In every single
Which I
article,
don't think is
Brand?
what it is.
Bran from
Listen.
like Game of Thrones? What?
yes, in every single article and in every single like comment section that I see for Reddit threads and news articles, what I'm hearing is a lot of people saying I think the franchise is running out of steam. That's what they're saying of this. A lot of people
Lego
who didn't like the Lego
or
Batman
Ninjago?
movie, the Lego movie franchise.
I understand
And-
why they're saying it, but I don't believe that is the actual problem here.
I think
Listen,
they're gonna
I
say
don't
the
believe it's
opposite of that
I don't
when
believe it
Lego
either.
Movie
What I'm
2
saying is that that's
comes out.
perception. That's audience perception, and that's important because that's all that counts right now. We think the Lego cinematic universe has potential, and I think we're right as fans and as people that will see these movies in the future. That being said, if the general audiences are starting to think, wow, the Lego movies aren't as good as they thought, maybe the Lego movie was just a flash in the pan after all, that's bad for the overall brand.
They should just make a Rock Raiders movie, TBH. Just saying. I would watch it. So would 3 other
Of
people.
course you'd watch it.
I love Rock Raiders, man. Bring it back,
Dude,
Lego.
it's a good franchise. But
Listen, the only way there ever would have been a Rock Raiders movie is if this had been successful. Because that'd be the gateway.
That'd be the gateway to do
IPs.
original movies, right?
I
Especially
think-
if it did better than Batman. I was hoping it would do better than Batman. Here's the thing that I've been seeing too. A lot of people in their coverage are saying that either we're too harsh or we're too dramatic. To me, I don't think we're being I wouldn't say we're not being dramatic enough. I don't think people realize how bad this movie is for not in terms of like the quality of the movie, just for the future of the franchise and how audiences perceive the Lego universe going forward.
Yeah.
And how Lego can't go and say, hey, let's do a Next One Nights or let's do a Chima or let's do X movie now, because the Warner Brothers is going to look and said, well, the Ninjago movie did not do good at all and it bombed at the box office and got terrible reviews and that was your original theme. And they can't be like, well, yeah,
they
but
have to be super conservative now with their movie plan.
Right, exactly.
I predict we might see Billion Brick Race either canceled or shelved or reworked because we've heard like barely anything about it as it stands. And like, if the Lego Movie 2 doesn't like just wow people, I'm not sure that's
if the Lego Movie 2, we're gonna wait 2 years. The worst thing about this is that we are waiting 2 years before the Lego Movie universe has a chance to redeem itself. So that's 2 years of people being the last taste in their mouth is Ninjago. And what it comes up to is, will this franchise be saved, and what will be the future of this franchise going forward? As of right now, honestly speaking, on the critical and objective level, it's not looking good. And it's a shame for me because I wanted this to be the gateway for for people that I know, my friends, to be invested or interested in the Ninjago characters. And now that's kind of like, there.
But maybe they should, think of something that doesning involve the whole father-son storyline thing. Thinking emoji question mark.
I know, right?
I
think that should be like a thing that they start doing overall, where it's like, I don't know why all the Lego movies have bad father figures. It feels like there's a common theme there. But
I don't know.
There you go.
I feel like my only thoughts on it are just going to be rehashed, so I'll just say it sucks. That's all I'll say.
Here's another thing that I want to mention too. I thought, well, why isn't this doing as well as something like the Emoji Movie or something like any of the other movies? And I thought, okay, maybe it's the trailers. Maybe they just didn't do a lot of marketing for it. Turns out Warner Brothers did a ton of marketing for it. In fact, the ads placed for the animated film had an estimated media value of $4.38 million through Sunday for a ton of ads across a ton of networks. Variety reported on this. So Warner Brothers prioritized like ABC, Comedy Central, NBC, a bunch of things, and they spent a good amount on marketing apparently.
So it just did not click with people.
It just is not clicking with people. Apparently, I think the trailer might have clicked with people. The second trailer doesn't as much, and then the negative reviews turn people off from watching it. And the issue is too, a lot of people are like in the comments of the review are like, "Oh, I'm afraid that by listening to this, some people won't." The reviews make it so that some people won't give the movie a chance. And for me, I have to say, I actually can't blame them because the movie, I saw it and I don't know if that would redeem it for, I don't know a lot of people
I don't think
go to that movie and come out of it being like, oh no, I thought it would be a bad movie, but it was saved.
Yeah, no, I don't think the movie, you can blame the reviews and the negative reception as much as you want, but I think the movie's quality itself really says a lot. It's not a great movie.
It's not a great movie. It's not a great movie. The plot is all wrong. The way that it is structured as a movie is really bad. So on a fundamental level, it's just kind of bad. Go on next.
I'm gonna hit y'all with some cool / trivia. I think maybe the guy that I go there's two like huge film critics that I go to when it comes to like movies, and they largely have like the same opinions as me regarding a lot of stuff. The one guy, which I refer to a lot when it comes to movies, I pretty much watch every single review he put out for like the last a lot of years. The Movie Bob guy, he
I've heard of him.
Genuinely, he is super critical. He's one of those people who are incredibly critical to like, hey, everything is perfect, everything, and then he's just like, well, I'm going to analyze this and like tell you why everything about this is incredibly bad. He genuinely liked the Ninjago movie.
Interesting.
Different tastes.
And I thought that was very interesting. And that's that hit me.
It's not like it's devoid of things to like, but I think that when you stack it up against, it's not like it's not the worst movie in existence, but we are comparing
it's nothing compared to the original Lego movie.
Exactly.
It doesn't do anything new. There's no experience you're going to get out of this movie that you couldn't find in any other movie that's better. It does everything that you think it would do. It's a straight up Lego movie repeat. If you see the Lego movie 1, you get the same moral for this movie. If you see Lego movie 1, you get the same basic like visual style. So you get everything you had if you already saw the other movie. Here, the only thing it offers is the nice new ninja like theme that it doesn't even play with.
Nope.
Well, I honestly, I think it goes even more than that, Var, because I agree with what you're saying, but I would have been fine with the movie. I would have said, okay, give it a chance. It's a okay movie. It's still a good movie. My thing is that the third act is the most disappointing thing I've ever seen. It's a huge letdown. It doesn't go anywhere. And you watch that movie, you get to that third act and you're like, oh, are we done? I kind of, what? Are we done?
I was way more infuriated by the first act.
No, the first act is bad. Well, the thing is that the first act could be redeemed with a better third act. Like, again, you have to look at the whole movie, but by the time you get to the third act, you're like, okay, well, they did the thing at the beginning. At least they should do something here at the end. They don't. And that's why I feel it fails, not just as okay movie, but it fails as a basic movie structure that third act is so weak and it's so light on anything.
Yeah.
There's no action. There's no, the resolution just comes. It's literally like they fast forward through a scene in that movie at the end. So
spoiler.
That's what makes it fail for me.
I still haven't watched the movie, but like a question here, yes or no, is the whole thing about could the Lego Ninjago movie did it need to be Lego? For example, with the movie Sing and the movie Zootopia, they're both movies where all the characters are animals. In Zootopia, there's a reason behind them being animals. With the movie Sing, there's no reason why they should be animals other than, hey, marketing animals.
To answer your question, X, not whatsoever.
Yeah, no, they don't even do the master builder thing.
The only reason is that Ninjago is an already existing Lego franchise.
Yeah, so like, do you think...
I think that if you watch our review of the Ninjago movie, one of the things that we said is that there are two different movies going on here. There's one movie about the ninja and a cool Lego movie where the ninja are doing cool ninja things in a Lego ninja world, and then there's another movie about a father and his son. And the people writing the movie chose to focus on the father and his son thing instead of the fun, cool ninja kung fu movie. The movie that they focused on, the movie that we ended up getting, the one that takes up the most time, does not need to be a Lego movie at all.
That's true.
So there are definitely this movie. I don't think that you could just take this movie and then take out the Lego elements of it. I think the Lego elements are intrinsic to some elements of it, but they're elements that the movie isn't focusing on. So the movie that the screenwriters really wanted to tell, the one that they really wanted to make, did not need to be the Lego movie. I think there are priorities that were very much not aligned here. And I think that's the biggest problem, is that there were too many, what's the idiom? Something in a pot.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Cooks in the kitchen. Yeah,
for those who not pointed out.
There's too many cooks in the kitchen. And there are too many conflicting ideas, too many things that people wanted to do, and none of it really meshed together. And I think that's the biggest problem.
The movie went through several rewrites. I was actually reading the behind the scenes book about it. Originally, there was actually the final battle was going to be between a giant snake, the Great Devourer, and a giant mongoose. That was one of the proposed climactic end of the movie, and they had some concept. Mm-hmm. And it didn't actually take place, I believe, in the first couple of drafts. Did not take place in Ninjago City. It was a more more low key, not as high tech city like seen in the TV show and stuff. And so the movie went through several rewrites, and I believe it was still going through a ton of rewrites up until the production of the movie, which would explain why a lot of animations were used, why a lot of it just doesn't seem to come together. I honestly do believe that this movie could have benefited from being postponed or having a later release date.
And it already got postponed a year.
I would
tragic.
actually say that the Lego Ninjago movie should have possibly just come after the Lego Movie 2. They should have done the Lego Movie 2 and had them in it, kind of like how they did with Batman, have them in it for a short while in the Master Builder montage. You know, like the ninja aren't at all. They would have fit perfectly in the Cloud Cuckoo Land, you know, as a thing. If
Lloyd
they
already was there.
Right. Well, Lloyd was there, but yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So if they did the Lego Movie 2 with the intent of like having cool characters that people want to see in the next one, that could have worked, as well. Someone in the studio audience before, I think it was Jito, said that, he feels like it is, like they've released, what was it? What movie did the Iron Man 2? He says the Iron Man 2 of the LCU. I actually completely disagree. I think they
like
actually,
Iron Man 2.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm saying audience reception wise, people liked Iron Man 2 when it was released. No one was like, this is that absurdly terrible movie. You compare it to the rest of the Marvel universe that comes after, and it doesn't hold up as well. But if you look at like when it came out, Iron Man 2, people were like, still, yeah, this was a pretty good movie. To me, it's like they released their Cars 2. This is the Cars 2 of the Pixar universe. You know, when like Pixar was doing amazing hits and then they released Cars 2 and people were like, oh, this one's actually kind of bad.
That's never something I had hoped to hear about Ninjago.
Same.
Quite tragic.
If you listen to us talk about the movie 3 weeks ago, we are so optimistic about this movie. We're talking about like, do you think it'll be better than Lego Batman? Do you think it'll score better? Do you think it'll be like the box office will be good? It has not done very well. So.
Well, at least you got the Ninjago City set out of this.
We did. No, the sets, by the way, the sets are stellar. Please go buy those sets. They're amazing. And please go see the movie if you are at all invested in Lego as a company or invested in like Ninjago or other original Lego themes, because this is the best way. You have to speak for your wallet to companies like Warner Brothers, and this is the best way they'll see that. So please go. You know, we talk about it and we've made our complaints known, but please go support it. Especially again, you're invested. This is the best way to show your support. One last thing we have to do. That's the last thing on our docket, but we do have time for the extra mock.
Ah!
Hype!
Yay, mocking! Do it. It's been so long, Max. You haven't been on.
I know.
This is pretty exciting because we were talking earlier about like weird uses of parts, and this goes hand in hand, or we glossed over it basically. But this is because usually there's very big people on Flickr, and they'll use parts that people don't normally use, and they'll be praised like, "Oh, you did this! Oh, it's great!" But like they're already established. Everyone already knows they can do the things that they do. This guy, on the other hand, not a lot of publicity on his hand, and I'm not really still sure what this is that he has made. But looking through his stream, he's very adaptable when it comes to using parts to things that you wouldn't normally pretty much use at all. And so here I present you something which it looks cool, you know?
Whoa!
And the longer you look at it, the more you're like thinking emoji.
That's the best Urquai I've ever seen.
What is an Urquai?
I don't know.
Exactly. And if you look through this guy's stream and you just scroll down,
Whoa.
you'll get an idea of what he's all about.
Oh man!
But I think
It looks like an alien ship or something.
Yeah,
It does.
Everything that he makes is just. I mean, if you look at
the texturing on like the top, like just. Wow, I don't even.
The Exoforce robot legs.
I don't know how you would go about creating this. This is incredible.
How did the design process go like this?
Right.
Like, hey, I'm gonna put a bunch of Exoforce legs on the side here.
God, this texturing right here is so cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of things with Lego System. Is that like, hey, I'll use this one part that is incredibly rare that's used for this thing, but if you put them all together like this, it's only there to create a texture that's weird and special. Because this is the one thing that gripped me on this is that usually when I look at something, I'm like, I know what that part is, I know what that part is. There are parts here, I don't know what they are, where they come from.
It barely even looks like it's made out of Lego. It just looks like a really cool model.
Yeah, like the thing that's going through there, like the rib cage in the middle with the... I don't know what that is. I don't know where those are from, how that's connected, how any of that works. I am just puzzled looking at this. Like Meso said, it's
those are always some of my favorite mocks, though, when it blurs the line between what you would commonly associate with being a Lego creation.
Yeah, 100%. When something is like appears like it's a toy, you know, and it's not made out of Lego, those are my favorite Titans mocks. I like that. I feel like that's a standard of quality where you actually have to look at it and be like, oh, that's made out of Lego. That's where you know you've made something really great.
Man, this is really cool. All of his other stuff on his Flickr.
I'm going through his other stuff too. Yeah. He did another spaceship that is so legit. I kind of have to. I'm just going to post this real quick.
All
right.
Just looking at
this thing.
even the
look
figures.
at this.
Oh, that's so
Look
smooth.
at that, dude.
It's so smooth.
It's so smooth. It literally looks like a toy.
That's like the train, like the speed trains or whatever they're called. I don't know, the trains that go really fast. It's like 2 of those put together on the sides.
Guys,
Guys, I don't know what the heck this is, but this is so cool looking. What is that?
It's Terra 10, obviously.
Oh, that's
Man.
Is it a ship? Is it like
He's got
Is it a
Is it
worm?
monster?
It looks like a
it's like a
monster.
dragon kind of.
He puts
maybe.
no description on any of his photos. Just
Oh, that's so frustrating.
It's a Terra 10.
I love it.
That's all, like there's mystery. There's no
dude.
tags. He doesn't add to groups. He just makes stuff and then he just posts
And he's
it.
post
Done.
it. That's what I want. See, that's what I want to do. Whenever I like, if I ever get into the mocking scene, I just want to be like, get to a point where I can just like click post and that's it. I don't have to type anything. Don't even need to put a title. That's some cool stuff.
Look at this. Look at this alien marketplace, dude. Which I'm assuming is alien marketplace. Again, he hasn't put anything out. It's just what it looks
I
like to
noticed
me.
that he some of his mocks have his like custom paint jobs on them. Like
Oh,
the
really? Where?
the Terra 10, for instance, it looks like it has a custom paint job. I will post a side picture of it.
Yeah, I saw that when I zoomed in. Like
Yeah, if you zoom in, like especially on this picture, you can really see all the custom like detailing you
those
put
are
in the painting.
such cool shapes, though.
Right?
Like, how does that? Is that stable? Like, I
have no idea,
it's
dude.
So
I have no
smooth.
idea,
I
dude.
don't know how he made these things. They're just.
Pretty phenomenal.
It's very bad for this podcast though, because we're kind of just at loss for words, you know.
I know, like we can't really talk about it as much as just sitting there in
Yeah,
admiration.
But I like how the figures like the thing I posted earlier is that even some of the figures themselves is like a mock in itself, in and of itself, and it's cool. I like it, you know. I mean, I wanted to bring attention and publicity to this guy because he's making next to no effort to show this things off. He just posts it and just does his own thing, and these are just some really cool sci-fi universe thing. I don't even know how to if this is like it's not even like from Mass Effect. It's I don't.
The alien marketplace looks like something out of Anthem. From what little we've seen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
From Anthem. Yeah,
kind
Or
of
like
like
what
that.
I wish the tower
someone said
would look like.
it reminded them of Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah.
Oh
the
yeah.
audience.
Oh yeah.
Wadden
Ooh,
said
yeah.
he was like, yeah, it
Oh, yeah.
definitely reminds me of that aesthetic. I love like the dioramas. Just everything he does has a very
He's a very
rich,
distinct style.
Yeah, exactly. That whatever he does has his fingerprints all over it, and you can kind of see that. That's really cool. And yeah.
I wish I could say more, but I'd
Yeah.
say that the pictures themselves speak a million more words than we could ever express. Like it.
So what's this guy's name again?
This guy's name is Raoul Baldwin.
Raoul Baldwin. All right, check him out on Flickr. We have his link in the description below, so make sure to check out his stream and send him some love for listening to this podcast. This is really awesome, though, X.
Yeah.
I like this. This is one of my favorite segments on the podcast.
I want to learn from this guy. I want him to be my master woo. I want him to be
Yeah,
like
we should get
Teach
put
me,
me under,
senpai.
take me under
I
his
mean, this
wing,
is-
show me
Yeah, this is.
his process.
I mean, this is not something you can just teach someone because he's using parts.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, this is
It's just.
it's beyond. It's at a level that is beyond my comprehension.
Yep.
I
yeah,
want to know what his process is like, though. I do want to know, like, okay, where does he begin his mock? Like, what does he think of a concept, of an idea? Does he have a dream or something? Does he
Yeah,
draw?
that's what I was
He has like a
thinking.
fever dream. He wakes up in a cold sweat.
Right.
He's like,
There
"Oh,
are some mockists that'll
I've
draw
been-
out their
I'm
mocks. I can't
inspired."
do that. I don't draw my mocks, but some people do that, and they're like, I want it to look like this. I need to find pieces that look like this drawing. So I'm curious what his process is like. How does he go from idea to final product?
I want to wonder too, because like some of the stuff is like, oh hey, he probably looked at some like sci-fi concept art, and then some of the stuff is like, this is this a robot heart? Like what? I don't know. I legitimately I'm at loss for words. This is cool. I like it. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and end us, John.
All right, we'll wrap it up right now. Thanks for joining us for the BrickFeed Podcast, you
An
guys.
extra long
As-
one.
Yeah, this is an extra one podcast for you guys.
Volk
Tide you over until the next time we have it.
Volk put
What?
in the chat a part that he might have used for the texture.
For the spine.
For the spine.
That's a good eye.
Okay.
That's a good eye. I did not see that myself.
There you go.
I've never even seen that part before.
It's from a train.
I wasn't going to say it either. I was going to be like, I literally, that, you could not tell. If you told me that was a Lego, I'd be like,
It's
I
from
don't
the end of a
think so.
train.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
Nice.
Okay. Huh. If you liked this episode of the BrickFeed Podcast or want to see more stuff from us, you can go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/TTV channel. If you want to be part of our live studio audience, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/TTV channel. And of course, you can go to our message boards to discuss this episode and other Lego related things. board.tvchannel.com. That's about it for all our sponsored stuff. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Bar.
I'm Meso.
I'm Exxtrooper, and if you have any suggestions to Extra Mark, just send me something on Twitter or something. There's been a couple of guys that's actually sent me suggestions, so feel free to do that, but it needs to be something special, and it needs to be something that is not all we have a lot of at least.
All right. There you go. Thanks so much for listening to us, guys. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Farewell,
Later, everybody.
everybody.
Bye-bye.